is 3:30 and I'm calling this meeting of the Communications and Outreach Subcommittee to order. We don't have anybody from the public. So the next item on the agenda is opportunity for member updates. So if anybody just has any updates like separate from what we said on Friday, feel free to share.
The Facebook is still dry.
Yes. All right. So, okay, I'm just gonna assume nobody else has anything then.
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna say what I basically said last meeting. Ali sent over the newsletter to the PTO. Thank you so much for that. And that was the last meeting that will be within the highlights for the November-December newsletter. So I'm going to start to work on that, which is exciting.
That's so exciting that we're already on our second one. That's crazy. All right, so now we have a discussion about our meeting with Ms. Burns. So I think it would be good if we started just kind of giving a bit of an update so we can, like a more in-depth update than what we did on Friday. So Ali and Catherine both kind of know more than what we told the entire council. So I can just start first. We were asking what kind of questions she would like us to see, what format of questions would be good, like easy for students to answer and understand, and hopefully not cause distress, because that's not something we want to do. We're trying to make sure people are okay, not cause them to be distressed. And let me just pull up the notes really quick. And she gave us some like really good recommendations on specific questions to use, who to talk to get it administered if we want to get it out during school, and maybe use the advisory time that we have. And we did discuss having a separate survey for hybrid kids who are remote, and then potentially one, like a different version for people who have quarantined, or just including an optional section for that, because we talked about how important it is for that too, because it's so hard on people, and a lot of people have had to quarantine or will have to quarantine eventually. So it's really important that we know how we can support them during that. Anybody else wants to jump in? Feel free.
I think you covered it all. I mean, I'm trying to think. I think the only other thing that we talked about was like, I don't remember if I mentioned this at like our big meeting, but just kind of like the parameters of the questions that we want to ask. So, and just being I guess mindful of the way that we're asking things. And I can't figure out how to say this, but we don't want to ask someone, are you safe with yourself, and then have them say no, and then we are in a bad position where we can't, since it's going to be anonymous, that we can't figure out who it is, and we're kind of trying to figure that out. So I think we kind of discussed like a happy medium of figuring out how to ensure that people are doing okay, but also, not going too deep. And then I think that we are thinking so I think it might be a good idea for us to make the one for the high school, and then either one of us or Ali, like, we can figure out how to break it down and into some different language, and maybe like fewer questions for middle schoolers. And then I know we had briefly talked about maybe doing it for elementary schoolers or those parents. So yeah, I think that's really it that we talked about.
Yeah, and just going off of that, I think one of the recurring points Ms. Burns made at our call was just obviously not forcing anyone to disclose any information they're comfortable about, but at the same time, sort of kind of giving questions that will lead them to sort of explaining certain circumstances that could be really helpful for us to assess how people are doing.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Ken.
Questions? So, so what is can you remind me of what your goal is for this survey? Are you not really sure yet? You're still trying to flesh it out, or you just want to get a better understanding of how young people in the community are doing social emotionally?
I think as we kind of go about it, we can figure that out. I think the goal of the survey itself is to kind of just see where people are at, and then I think it'll help us go from there to figure out, okay, like, you know, what kinds of resources would be more helpful. Should we recommend to the principals that there needs to be maybe some more support for the remote students and kind of stuff like that. So I think right now our goal is to kind of gauge where people are at, and then later and then after we do that, we can figure out what specific steps we need to take to kind of help people out, I guess.
Okay. Because I was on, Ollie, have you had to take a survey for the Galvin recently?
No, not recently.
Okay, so it's kind of towards the beginning. Because I was on the superintendent's COVID call last Thursday, and they actually had Miss Burns and Miss Hart on there talking, and this topic came up. And they said that they were planning on surveying the youth. So is that part of the survey that you guys are talking about? Like you're collaborating with admin to do it? Because I know there's a separate conversation that I'm having with the superintendent about the youth risk behavior survey that we do with the whole Middlesex League every year, and we're due to do it this spring. But that's different than what you guys are talking about, because you want to know now. And I think what you guys want to know is what a lot of people want to know. So we just want to make sure that admin doesn't already have something in the works.
At the high school, it didn't really sound like they had anything like big planned. I know Miss Burns had mentioned that at the beginning of the year, there was just like a super short survey that they sent out, and they kind of wanted to do like a little follow-up to that, but she hadn't really mentioned like a long one, kind of like the one or just like a longer one. But she had said they discussed doing like a quick little follow-up to the one they sent out right at the beginning of the year. I'm not sure what the middle school would be doing. She didn't mention anything about that, obviously, but yeah.
Okay, so they haven't done that yet?
No.
Okay, so this could be, would you do this so admin can look at the data and you could look at the data, or what are you thinking?
I mean, I don't think like we really planned, like, I mean, for me personally, like I have no issue with them looking at the data. I honestly think it might be helpful because, you know, people our age might be a little bit more responsive to something that we send out rather than adults. But I mean, we didn't plan like with Mrs. Burns to collaborate, but I mean, I'd be more than happy to, whatever people think. But that wasn't like our original plan.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it would probably be pretty helpful for the administration, because we're going to have one interpretation of the data and like what we can do to help, but they might have something different that they can put together like immediately, rather than we talk about it, like put together like some kind of recommendation or proposal or whatever, and then go to them. Whereas they might be able to just look at it and say, it looks like we can do this now, kind of, and we can collaborate with them.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really important that you guys use your voice and use the voice of young people to say, you know, we think this is something that needs to happen soon, because we know a lot of people are struggling. And then, yeah, collaborate. I think that's a great plan. Did you have a chance to look at now I'm having a meeting with admin, the superintendent's office on Friday around the same topic, but I'm not sure what the whole Middlesex League is thinking. So I'll be able to follow up with all of you with information. But if they were to say, okay, we're going to wait till the spring, I think getting some sort of survey in motion ASAP, so it happens like right after the holidays or something, would be good. Did you have a chance to look at that spot check survey I sent along to you?
Yeah, I did get the chance to just like go through it and see what kind of questions were on there.
Did you think some of those would be good to ask your peers? Ollie, did you?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I sent that to you because we were talking about the high school.
No, I don't think I received that.
Okay, let me go back and send that to you because this is something an evaluator at the state put together in lieu of, they're actually recommending that we don't do these wide scale surveys or maybe look at doing something different. So they kind of created a condensed survey. So I'm going to send that to you right now, Ollie. You guys can discuss. What do you think the next step should be?
Well, personally, I think we should probably start just throwing out question ideas kind of so we can see what kind of things we already have, what we might need to look into more to put together specific questions for. And I think some of like the survey you sent us, I think that can be really helpful for format especially, and some of the questions on there I thought would probably be good to include, like kind of like how much people are like on their screens and stuff like that. And just think, yeah, there was a lot of questions on there. I forget some of them, but I remember seeing some and I was like, oh, that would be like really good to include. So I think we can definitely draw from that survey and what we talked about with Ms. Burns in addition to what we want to ask questions about and start putting that together.
Are there any rules about like open meeting laws and working collaboratively on, I'm not sure if we can do it like on a Google form altogether, but we probably can't work on like a shared Google Doc, right?
Right. So what I would recommend is you pick a point person. So each of you would come up with questions that you think are important. You look at the spot check, you think of other things, I love the idea of like the quarantine questions and things like that. And maybe you even email the rest of the youth council, and then whether it's Alyssa or whoever's the point person, you kind of send them all the questions, they'll clean it up. And then my suggestion would be you set up a follow-up meeting with Miss Burns and probably Mr. Robinson and maybe someone else at the high school level. But in the meantime, what I will do on my meeting on Friday is let the superintendent and that team know. I think Mr. Robinson will be there, and say the youth council is very interested in this and would like to work if something isn't done right away to do something. So who should they reach out to?
I can be a point person.
Okay, so I will send you all an email with takeaways from that meeting. But in the meantime, I do think it's important that you all kind of share your opinion on what you think it's important, what information's to gather, because there might be stuff that adults really aren't thinking about that are, are big challenges right now, like, in ways that, like stuff about sports and things that like, especially specific to this community. And like in performing, are performing arts happening? Clubs?
Kind of. Yeah.
And like,
Not exactly to a great extent, I would say.
yeah, okay. So just think about, I don't know what to think about because you all are used to like what's normal life and what are the things that are helping people right now.
Yeah, and I can definitely get like an email sent out to like the whole council, so if they have topics they want to see us cover or like specific questions that they have in mind, they can just send them to me at any point and we can put them in. Because I think that would be really helpful too, because everybody's having different experiences right now, because some of us have had to quarantine, some of us haven't. So I think that would be really beneficial as well. Anyone have anything else? No? Okay. Okay, so we just kind of combined two agenda items, but that's all right. So the next thing was a discussion of a collaboration with Mass Support Network, which I know Catherine had mentioned at the Friday meeting. Oh wow, it's only Monday. Okay, the Friday meeting. And yeah, so I just kind of wanted to talk about that a little more so we can see kind of where we want to go with that. So let me just pull up the email really quick. So, okay. So basically, what they're looking to do is see if we can, not as, it wouldn't be formally as the youth council or as youth council members, it would just be as youth, like participating, like a focus group or just a meeting with, what's her name? Sarah, that's her name, I'm sorry. It's just kind of talking about what our experiences have been during the pandemic and kind of what we think people could use in mental health support, not just specifically in Wakefield. This time it would just kind of be a more general thing and just kind of stuff like that. So I just wanted to see what you guys thought, because I had reached out to see if she wanted to talk to some youth council members.
I think that's a really good idea. I mean, like you said, it wouldn't be formally like just our council, but I feel like we have such a wide variety of, ages and home lives and, like just different experiences all across the board with this. So I feel like that could give them like some really good insight on, I mean, technically it would just be like Wakefield if it was just people from our group, but people from other towns did it. I think that's a good step in the right direction for kind of the way that a lot of people want it to go with reaching out and providing resources and stuff like that. So I would definitely be like, I'm in.
Yeah, I completely agree. I just feel like, as Lauren said, that we do have a large variety of experiences within the youth council, and I feel like that would serve to provide a lot of different, very helpful information about um, how everyone just has been doing at large during this time among youth.
So Catherine, would that be something we have to go through you to set up, or is that something like one of us could contact and set up on our own and like reach out to the whole council and see if anybody else wants to participate or like contribute?
Yeah, what I could do is help you with the wording of it, but I can, if you want to do an email with between you, me, and the woman, I think Sarah, you said her name was,
Yeah, Sarah.
and I can just create something. So, or maybe she has something where your parents can e-sign a consent for you to be part of the focus group.
Okay.
Yeah, I can, but it definitely shouldn't. Yeah, like I said, you wouldn't be participating as youth council members. You'd just be youth from Wakefield. And maybe if you have friends that want to participate too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that would be super, super cool to put together. Try and get as many different experiences as possible.
Yeah, and it's always interesting from those things, you know, because a lot of times the stories you tell end up populating and influencing programming changes and things like that. So, I mean, I know I've been influenced by what you all have said and have brought things up at meetings that are just, I said, you know, from the youth council, I've learned this. So I think that's important.
All right. So, if nobody else has anything, then does anybody have anything else they want to talk about that was not on the agenda? No.
I'm just curious, we probably should have brought this up, maybe we can bring it up at the next meeting, but what are your thoughts on the next steps with the Warrior logo? As far as communication goes. Especially like Lauren, your liaison with the school committee.
Sorry, my mom just came downstairs. So Jenna and Jack and I, like, we haven't heard anything. Sorry, our stairs are so loud. We haven't heard anything from the school committee. Because I know, you know, with the spike in COVID cases and everything, they've kind of had to shift their focus onto that. And we knew that, you know, it's a prominent issue, but it's not their focus right now, which is understandable, obviously. But I can definitely reach out or have Jenna do it to kind of see what they're thinking, or if they're thinking of talking about it soon, or if there's anything else that they want us to do to kind of do some more outreach, or, you know, maybe another survey and see if opinions have changed. Because I don't know, I'm not sure about what their thoughts are right now. So I can definitely reach out if you guys think that would be a good idea.
Yeah, I think following. Oh, go ahead, Catherine.
No, my only thought was, did you ever get to talk to Mr. Pavey, who's head of the like social studies and history?
I haven't, no.
No.
About the logo, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I haven't done that.
I'm just wondering, you know, thinking about, you saw how much people's perceptions changed with education around it, and especially the educational slides that you all put together for that presentation. It might be worth, you know, because you're right, school committee's probably a bit busy right now, but it might be worth a few of you setting up a meeting with Mr. Pavey to say, you know, is there an opportunity for education around this? And, you know, he's a, you know, district-wide curriculum coordinator, so he might be able to have some ideas or say, oh, we're actually working on this and some grades or something like that. So because and also reaching out to the school committee, but you don't want all your work to, you know, just be completely, oh, it was something they did. You want to you know, keep finding ways to keep working on it. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I think that's a pretty good idea. Like, I think it would be really helpful because, especially, I know we had talked about, even in our meetings, just like educating people would be part of the process of like moving forward as a town and like a whole school community. So I think it would be really beneficial to involve him now, especially if it does end up getting changed. Then we're already working with him to see if anything else can or needs to be done.
Yeah, and I think having someone from, you know, teachers like on those issues, I think, and they try to stay like pretty neutral. So I think where the majority of the voting members for youth council, we were in favor of changing it, but I think having someone create a curriculum or, unit, if you whatever, I think that could be really beneficial because, everyone could kind of see it from both sides. We did that, but I think it has a different way of presenting itself when it's an adult or, I guess an authority figure, someone like of importance, doing it. So I think we could definitely work with him on that.
I mean, you guys are of importance, and I think you came up with a really good you showed both sides of it. So I'm not saying that it has to come from a teacher or something, but maybe just say, maybe what it is he said, oh, can you create an educational video around this? And you work with the local TV station to create just your slides, but in a more interesting way where it has, and he says, okay, yeah, let's have all social studies, and he might give you some advice on the historical context to it or something. But I don't know, just any other thoughts around that? I mean, I was just thinking it might be something to work on.
This is just another thought to throw out there, but I was also possibly thinking maybe just have like an open forum hosted by the history department with us there, sort of having like an open dialogue about the whole situation, explaining the decision we made and why we made that decision.
I think that would be interesting. I think that, yeah, I mean, who knows what would happen, but like, that'd be pretty interesting to like see what kind of conversations happen, and especially like if there's like a teacher there or whatever, obviously there should be, but like just kind of like civil conversation. Yeah, because I know some people are still a little angry. We got a comment the other day on our post. Somebody was a little late to the game, but he had the spirit.
Yeah, that's a fabulous idea. So I don't know if any of you would want to reach out to Mr. Pavey and propose some of these ideas, and because it's good to just start having the conversation now, even though we're about to head into the break next week. And then Ollie, thinking about it at the middle school level, because it's really going to impact the middle schoolers, and they might think of, it's going to be their uniforms and their, things going forward. So do you have any thoughts on like how, at the middle school level, do you think 7th and 8th graders, it's appropriate conversations to be having? And what do you think?
I think that it's definitely an appropriate conversation to be having with 7th and 8th graders, as they are, like, especially with sports related stuff, like you were saying, with uniforms, with all these changes, and also with education, because once someone is educated, they tend to understand the topic better. So that's definitely an appropriate conversation to be having.
Okay, so maybe, when whoever speaks to Mr. Pavey, because he is director for the whole history and social studies for the whole district, and you can say, oh, what would you think about middle school? And then you could loop Ollie into the conversation too, because, it's definitely, I know my son's in 7th grade now, and they do ancient, but there's definitely Native American piece in the curriculum coming up, I think.
Lauren, would you want to maybe reach out, since you're like already involved with like the school committee? I feel like that might be helpful.
Yeah, I can definitely do that. The one thought I had was, it might be a good idea for us to do it, like, I don't know if we could do it in person, because I know, Alyssa, you're in cohort B and Anthony and I are in cohort A, so I'm not sure if like you could come in. Do you know what I mean?
I'm allowed in the building. I was there last Monday. Yeah, I was putting up flyers.
Oh, okay. So we could
so I'm allowed to
do
come
it
in
on,
after 12.
Okay. So we could probably do it on like a Monday and a Thursday. because then, people would have opportunities to come. Yeah, okay, that's fine. But yeah, I'll definitely email Mr. Peavy and just
And definitely
get
send them a
thoughts.
link to your presentation you did for school committee, just in case you didn't get to see it.
And
Okay.
maybe like the press release too. Would that be helpful?
Ooh, that's a good idea.
I feel like that would be good room to see like exactly what we recommended.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And then one other question I had is, can I use does it matter what email I use? Should I use my personal email since that's what we use for youth council, or can I use my school email? Is there like any rules around that? I don't know if there's.
I don't think there is.
I
since we
doubt
don't
it,
have,
but I don't want to do anything.
since we don't
wrong.
like each officially have a town email, like the town council. I've been using my personal email. Just like don't delete them.
Okay.
Like make sure you have them.
Okay.
And then I
Noted.
think we should be okay.
Okay. Thank you.
And you can always CC the Wakefield Youth Council
Oh,
email address, so then it's on record and everything.
that's a good idea.
And
I
then
never thought of
Jack
that.
and I both get those emails automatically, so we can keep abreast of what's going on.
This is exciting. Oh, I wrote an essay about that, the warrior logo process thing today for college.
It's a big deal. I
It
mean,
was, yeah.
the fact that the other people have been bringing this up for years, and it seems that the youth council might be the ones that finally get the traction on it. So, I think, I'm glad you wrote about it. Lauren, you're gonna have lots of Lauren and Ollie, you're gonna have lots of topics by the time you come around to your college applications to do.
All right. So does anybody have anything else they'd like to discuss before we plan the next meeting? Okay. So if we go, I think we've been doing 3 weeks, right? So 3 weeks would be the 4th. Should we go 4 weeks out? Do we want to do the 4th?
Yeah, when's the next youth council meeting?
The 8th. So maybe we want to do the 11th. Yeah. I think I like that better. Makes a little more sense. Okay. So does that work for everybody? January 11th at 3:30. It's a Monday. Okay. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
Oh, wait, I have one more question.
Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
So one of a woman that I volunteer with at the food pantry is doing like a internship for youth that are interested in media and doing being on-air correspondence and doing behind. Is anyone here interested in that possibly for a career? Any kind of communications career? Anthony, be a natural. She has an internship opportunity, so I was going to email anyone that was interested. It's okay if you say no, but
Is it possible if I could maybe just consider it?
yeah, I'll send it along to you. I'll send it along.
Wonderful, thank you.
I said,
I'll have to see if I'm not sure if I have enough time, but it does sound like a really great opportunity.
Right. Couldn't you guys see Anthony on camera, like interviewing people and stuff? All right. All of you are so well spoken. I would. I'll send you the link to it, and you can decide.
Okay. Now, do I have a motion for adjournment?
I motion.
I second.
All right. Now we got vote. Myself, yes. Lauren,
Yes.
Anthony,
Yes.
Ollie.
Yes.
All right. The meeting is adjourned.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Have a
Bye.
good holiday.
Have a nice day. Happy
You too.
holidays.